Hey, hey,
Hello.
hey, welcome to Monday and the weekly wrap up.
It's the weekly wrap up. Thank you, everyone, for joining wherever you are in the world, X, YouTube, and of course, GSIC. How's the week been for you, Lise?
It's been pretty good.
Pretty good. Anything
Yeah,
new?
charts have been stressful, obviously, because we're at a very critical region on Bitcoin, and Germany just doesn't stop selling.
This is true. Um,
Yeah.
okay, then. Well, in that case, should we just dive straight into it and have a look?
Yeah, so news came out today that one of the big miners, probably WAGMI, which is I think BlackRock. Don't quote me on that, but they are trying to push out a lot of the smaller miners. By doing this, by dropping Bitcoin, that makes Bitcoin not profitable, and that drives out those small miners, probably bankrupting them, and they take the market share. So that's not what we want to see. We want to have, as much competition as possible, but it does seem that the big players with ETFs and with, the miners and that sort of thing are becoming these big company, what do you call it, conglomerates. Didn't butcher that word today. So it's Bitcoin is almost becoming unreachable for the everyday person. So unless you have a really tiny small portion now, that's ideally not what we want to see. That's why you should be buying the dips here and getting building those bags for when we do head into this bull market. So regardless of whether we get one more dip here or we continue going, dips in this section I do still believe are for buying.
Okay, then. Cool. Well, let's jump into I think you've got a chart ready there for Bitcoin.
Yeah, so this is Bitcoin. So we have a rising wedge and we have broken up. So this is bullish. And we want to sort of sit above. We want to at least hold that 55,800 if this comes down. And touching the MA, this is a 15-minute chart. So touching the MAs, if you've watched my how to scalp chart, is really bullish. And then coming back down, retesting the EMAs, and then continuing up, then going up through the time frames. So when we jump up to the next time frame, to the 30-minute, we can see we're just about to get an EMA cross here, and we've got 56,900 on those MAs. So jumping back down to the 15-minute chart, you'll see 57. So we had 56,950 or something on the 30-minute, 57 on the 15-minute. So we're likely going to that region. So when we pull out here, we can see that we do really need to break this region and hold that above that region to be bullish. So when we go up right through that and we get to the hourlies, we can see that our 100 MA is at the 56,950, which is going up through the levels. That's the level that we need to really beat. That's the level that we need to watch here. That breaking that level is going to be super bullish for BTC in this pattern. We're pulling back into the wedge at the moment, but holding, as I said, holding this wedge, we've got the EMAs crossing. So hopefully we can see some sort of God candle here. We haven't seen one of those forever. And getting that back up, a retest of 58 and getting up above those regions would be really, really bullish. When we go up to the daily, we can see that in that region, that is our 200 MA. So that 58, sort of 800, 900 will push up a little bit if we get bullish here. and that's our 200 MA. So that's going to be the test. If we can get back above the 200 MA on the daily, you can see how the MAs are working on each and every time frame, and they're just pushing up, pushing up, pushing up. So we know that likely at each point we're going to get a pullback, whether that's that it should be only small if we're bullish, and it will be larger if we're bearish. But at the moment, this has formed, and if we can close with a doji tomorrow, again, so we had a quite a nice doji here. We want to get this dragonfly doji closed tomorrow, and that's going to be super bullish for Bitcoin, and we're going to see up around the 59K with a retest in this region. So breaking that region, as I said, flips this, and then we are going up to test again. Our next point is 65.105. So that's our pivot in this region. We can see that we've got 1, 2. So that's around our pivot at 66,600. So as the wave patterns change, our pivots change, and we didn't get anywhere close to the pivot last week, so we came back down. So explaining like what these patterns are with these WXYs. Now the next pattern, if we are still bearish, is a WXYXZ. So, or Z, depending on where you live. So we've got potentially a WXY here that has completed, hopefully. If we have not completed and we continue higher, so this is our W, our X, our Y. So our next rejection point could be as high as that 70K and then coming back down to test those low lows. So, you know, this is, you know, so people get super bullish again, and then they smash it down again. Breaking obviously this resistance here, which coming up to these regions is at about 71. So breaking 71 is super bullish, and we'll see that fifth wave forming that we've been talking about forever. This to me still looks very much so like we haven't broken down on those regions that I have talked about for this to be deeper. And you know, a deeper correction. We're not there yet. Now, obviously, breaking the low here, we are going to, you know, correct down deeper. But it does look like we've got a little bit of reprieve in this region, especially if tomorrow closes with like a lovely wick, and we push up to that sort of 58, 59K mark. Now that's going to be a tough resistance because we are underneath that region, and reclaiming that could possibly take a couple of days. Rejecting that region is very dangerous for BTC because it does mean that we potentially could break down. So yeah, so it does sort of, you know, pay to be very super careful in these regions. Keep moving your stop loss into profit, and keep those, you know, if you are in trades and you are actively trading, keep taking profits, moving the stop loss. So yeah. Now there's another thing that I noticed. I put on Ichimoku cloud the other day, and this is fitting with either this WXYXZ pattern or potentially an impulse forming in this region. Now we've got a gap that is forming around the 18th of July that potentially we could move through. We can see that we've moved down through this one here each and every time. So we've moved up through, couldn't hold it, have come back down, not enough support. But yeah, it does look like we've got a little bit of a gap. We do need this region here to fill out. So right now there's no support there, which means potentially it's coming back down for that Z wave or a deeper correction. So that's kind of what we're looking at the moment. But, you know, moving in, we're going into a full moon, which is a upstream salmon moon, or a buck moon, which is where the deers get all their fur on their antlers. So being as the salmon upstream moon, so it's a good time to catch the highs, to catch you know, the salmon, but make sure you are taking profit. I'm not gonna, you know, I can't emphasize that enough, because this is such an uncertain area for traders. If you are, excuse me, if you are, you know, longer term, it's definitely a good time to be just buying the dips.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. We did have one comment kind of related to that, and related to a question last month about when Doge and XRP might rally like last of the like the previous cycles, but just
yeah, I'm not sure. XRP, yeah, XRP just doesn't look like it's going to. Like, I don't, you know, obviously in 2017 we saw you know, XRP head up to $3.30, I think it is. Doesn't show on any of the charts anymore. But, you know, I'm not really sure with, unless there's some sort of, you know, roaring kitty sort of event where everyone gets together and pumps XRP like has happened in the past. Yeah, XRP.
Is a likelihood that yes, a similar event could kickstart it, but it wouldn't probably be XRP and Doge. It might be a brand new one that kind of kickstarts it, or coincidentally is at the start of the bull run. You know, there's so many.
Yeah, there's so many different. Yeah, so many different coins that people think start the bull run. Like I've heard chatter about Litecoin often starts the bull run. You know, if we have a look at XRP, it's a very similar pattern to what Litecoin is in. So let me just bring that up. You know, potentially there's some good trades coming on these. This is one that I've been watching for a trade, and, you know, it's coming down into that buy zone one more. It has actually been there, but it should come back into that zone one more time. But if you have a look at this chart, it's almost identical to what XRP is. So, and that's literally one of the charts. They say either XRP, Litecoin, you know, Doge start these runs. So, and they're all very, very similar charts. So let's have a look at Doge. Yeah, so slightly different chart for Doge, but it's still in that similar pattern where we're, you know, way down below those you know, previous highs. So you know, with Litecoin in 2017 it went to $400 and something, XRP $3.30. Doge waited until the last cycle, and, you know, we got 73 cents. So, you know, that's massive. So you just, this is where the money is made in these cycles. But you can't have all your eggs in one basket, because there's no guarantee that Doge is going to pump. There's no guarantee that XRP is going to pump. And there's no guarantee that, you know, your favorite coin that you've been holding for 3 years is going to pump. So, you know, if you're in it to make money, then you need to be diversified across a lot of assets in crypto, and just spread that risk somewhere. Just spread that risk out there, and you know, potentially one of those coins might make some like huge profit, 1,000% profit. eGold was one of them that, you know, did 1,600% and then, you know, continued. So they happen definitely in crypto, but we can see that, you know, Doge has come back down to the 786 on this chart, where we could have completed, but most charts look like they've got one more wave down. So, you know, a pivot on, if you're looking at Doge breaking around 12 cents is going to be fairly bullish. But on this daily chart, we've got the 200 MA looming above, same as we've got on Bitcoin. So, you know, heading up into that daily chart, Bitcoin has got some resistance in these regions, especially at that 59K mark. So that's going to be quite a tough sort of region for Bitcoin. And, you know, Bitcoin sort of drags everything down, drags everything up. So you just really need to keep an eye on that.
So to sum that up, yes, there could be an event where a coin absolutely explodes to trigger the start of the bull run, but identifying which coin that will be is near impossible, and a crystal ball would help massively.
It would definitely help. But as you can see, like all three of those coins, especially Litecoin and XRP, are in almost identical patterns. So, you know, it's not outside the realm of possibility that both of them could go at the same time. But, you know, when we look at this market for this like bull run, it's drastically changed. It's not, you know, it looks, sorry to say, but it's scammier than what crypto's ever been. With, you know, all these celebrities getting in, trying to make a fast buck. Obviously, Hollywood and the music industry must be really down, especially with, you know, seeing an argument between Jason Derulo and BitLord today. So that was quite interesting. So if you jump over to their Twitters and have a look, but yeah, if that's what crypto is coming to, I think, you know, this is going to be the last big run before we do get a major crackdown on this, especially on meme coins, especially on, you know, not influencers, like music stars, actors, you know, the Iggy Azaleas, Jason Derulo's, those sort of people coming in and just making a quick buck and then getting paid like millions of dollars to rug these coins. So it's insane.
Yeah, it's not a good look for sure. It's okay. Did you want to look at Ethereum, anything else, Bitcoin, or some alts?
So looking at these, like obviously jump up to the daily on these charts. So Ethereum has hit a really interesting area. So if you've watched, if you're in the group, if you watch these videos for a long time, so one, we get down low on the RSI and the stock RSI. When those kind of match, then we have like an event that potentially is where we're going to get a strong bounce. At this point, we're really, really low, coming low on the RSI. It doesn't mean we won't get one more wave down. We are holding at this present point. And on the stock, it has crossed up. So for that to continue, that would be lovely. And we should break through at about 3,115. That's our really difficult region that we need to break through on Ethereum. Now, the way that it will happen if we do get those huge, big green dildos, there's no other way of saying it. So they are hard resistances and they need to be broken. So that's literally the only way that it's going to happen.
Okay, very good.
Volume, volume, volume. So yeah.
Absolutely, bring it in, bring it on. Okay, cool. Let's go to, should we have a little short break and then we'll do some alts, or did you want to?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, I think there are a couple of comments. One for request for ARB and YouTube, and yeah, there's Pepe and the GSIC lot. So Okay, let's have a little break. We will see you in about 30 seconds. Okay.
And welcome back.
So Fun Kids on YouTube says, just wanted Lisa to know how much time you are spending analyzing charts. You are awesome. That's nice
Thank
feedback.
you.
Yeah, we like that.
Yeah. And I just want to say, you know, watch the people that have been here again, these whole, like, every bull run, every bear run, because this is the time of the market. We see all the wannabes, all the, you know, the mega bulls come into the market where they're like, they just pop out of nowhere and all of a sudden they've got 300,000 followers and you're like, who the hell is this person? So yeah, just watch that. Be careful who you're taking advice from, you know, especially if they're not replying to you. You know, people like Wendy O, she's been here since 2017. You know, I think 2017. She's sort of, yeah, I've known her like for such a long time in this industry. And, you know, watch those people because they're the ones that know what's happening. They know, you know, how to chart, how to spot like good coins, bad coins, and different. Shardy B's another one. She's epic. Yeah. So just, if you want to get sort of, you know, a different perspective from people, which I highly recommend that you do, make sure they're good perspectives. Make sure they're not just somebody who's popped up overnight.
The thing I tend to always say is when tracking down these people, the question I tend to ask is, are they a crypto expert or are they a marketing expert? So not taking anything away from them, they can build an audience that quickly through whatever means, fair play, but then they are experts in marketing, not crypto. So yeah, just try to gauge which one it is.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so let's jump into some alts, and I need to let you all know that we are sponsored again by BingX. So thank you to BingX. Oops, we've got alerts happening here, and we have got in the next week or so, keep an eye out on my Twitter and watch the weekly wrap up next week because we have a really super special deal for you. So from BingX, and now if you're in UK, United States, or Amsterdam, and a few other regions, you're not going to be able to take advantage of this. But everyone else, if you're in Australia, if you're in, you know, Dubai, those sort of areas, then BingX, this deal is for you.
Absolutely. Okay, cool. Sorry, I was clicking around with buttons here. Let us jump into some alts. What have you got lined up there? Just
okay, I've got Pepe. So now this is obviously king of the meme coins. I'm not sure if it's going to stay king of the meme coins forever, but you know, it's kind of taken over from where Doge was. It, you know, it gets better percentages, but there's a few new ones coming in, and you know, to take advantage of while we're still able to. So if we take this as a completed wave and we go right back to, I'm going to bring this up to a daily chart just so we can condense it all in. So if we take this as completed and we've got 5 waves, then potentially we are coming down to this 618. It does look like we have one more wave across the board on alts. This does look like it could be just a relief bounce. So if we're looking at a resistance region, so for Pepe, it's looking at about lots of zeros, 998 to about 1. So lots of zeros, 1. So so that's our resistance in that region. That's also a pattern break as well. So where we come down, and this is potentially our A, our B, and coming back down for a C. So looking at this support as well, we've got 200 MA support at the golden zone, 618 to 0.65. So, and looking likely, we've got one more move down to just get that to the oversold regions on the RSI. So take advantage of this bounce. I don't think it's going to be long-lived. I do think we've got one more wave down. I will eat my words if these all start breaking that resistance, but I don't think they're going to. So just make sure you're taking profit here. Now, next one is ARV. I'm going to bring this one up to the daily as well. So these are some of the old coins. They're turning into sort of dinosaur coins at the moment. You can see when we stretch this out, this is again let me find where we had XRP, very similar pattern. So this could be one of the ones that starts the bull run. And it could also be, what is it, Ocean, FET, and what's the other one? ADIX. So when they merge, that could also start some sort of bull run. eGold last, when it did the denomination, and it went from, can't think of what it went from being, hang on, what was eGold before it was eGold, and now it's not Meta or something else. I don't know. They keep changing names. But essentially, this could be another one. It's in the same pattern. If we have a look and we go back, I don't know if this is a chart that's got all the data. Binance usually has quite a bit of data, but we're getting quite low on that region. So if we pull this all up and we get some fib levels and have a look as to where we are going. So right now we hit in between a fib level, which normally means, you know, leverage market, you can go below, but usually what happens is we're going down a bit lower. So this may go to about 37. We've got quite a bit of congestion on the MAs. They're not clear like we saw on Pepe. So if we have a look at Pepe, they're quite clear. They're, you know, they're still in an uptrend, and you know, these haven't crossed down to be like quite negative like it's looking like on ARV. So when we get that congestion, it just means there's a lot of confusion in the market. It means people are letting go of long-term bags. And, you know, this is starting to become a dinosaur coin, is what I like to call them. And it doesn't mean that they won't move in the bull run. It doesn't mean that they're not going to make new higher highs. But, you know, ARV was previously Lend, and then it changed and rebranded to ARV. So Lend was one of the ones back in 2017 that if you were in Coin Runners, we did the ICO on that. So we would have got in very, very super early. And so who knows, they might need to just rebrand again to get the, you know, hype and all of that out there. To rebuild, rebrand usually is a positive thing. It just means the team are, you know, organizing, sort of moving into that next bull run. So I don't know if they're going to, but that you're going to see that happen for a lot of coins over the next probably 3 to 6 months. We're going to see a lot of rebranding happening just to build that hype again. So yeah, with that being said, we do have 5 waves in this region on this one. So, but we've got, so this, we didn't break the low. So that means that's an A, this is a B, and this is a C. So this to me means that that's still coming down. We'll either retest that low or we'll break down to that 37. And at that point, that is going to be a bargain. So even if you want to just have a small dabble in this one, place some orders down there, because that's going to be huge. And, you know, we're going to get some really big green candles on this when we get to those regions. So, yeah.
Okay, cool. Just remind me which ones you've just done. Let me have a look at the list.
I've done Pepe, and I've done AAVE, I've done XRP, and I looked at Litecoin. So
okay, right, we've got a couple of questions off YouTube. ARB, and then Sushi, and then I think we can.
So Sushi was one I looked at last week as well. So Sushi is in a really nice pattern, and I'm going to pull this one up to a daily chart as well. I'm just looking at long-term stuff at the moment, because if you are chopping in and out of these coins, then you know it does get quite hard. So this is a super new chart, and you know, obviously it doesn't have a lot of information. So what we have to do is have a look at the information that we do have and break that down. So I'm going to look at this correction, and I'm going to put some Fibonacci on it, and I'm going to get some levels. So we're sitting at the 786 on this chart at the moment. It is quite wicky, which means there's a lot of leverage traders on this chart. So this could be just a wick through, or next level, it's potentially going down to the 0.9, which is about 38 cents. Now, our point up here where we want to sort of cross is around this golden zone, and we can see that we've got the 100 MA coming down to this region. So that meets at a critical zone, and you know, if that can sort of get to those levels, cross that 100 MA on the daily, then that's when this is going to look really spectacular and going to be seeing, you know, some really huge gains. At the moment, we are fighting, when we go down to the 100, the hourly, we are fighting with the 100 MA here. Our next stop is the 200 MA, which is at about 71. Now, flipping up and going through those levels, go to the 4 hour, we can see that this is going to be at about the same level as the hourly on the 100 MA. So that's how these work. And then we've got the next level to cross over is 84. Now, if on the 4 hour we can get above the 84, potentially we're going to get a bullish cross on the 100 and the 200 MA. So we essentially want them to come down, sweep down, cross over. We want our waves to hit here, come back down, hold that level, come up here, and then retest. Probably bounce around here for a bit and then continue up. That's the ideal bullish scenario that we can have on these patterns. When we go up to and have a look at these daily charts, so, you know, even though it was released, where are we? 23. So, you know, essentially this is a baby coin. It just, you know, it doesn't have enough pattern to give enough details. We can see that it's got 5 waves here, so that's a positive sign, but this has broken down below this region here. So, you know, now we've got to take one step at a time and just assess it as it moves. So on the daily chart, our resistance is at about 1 on this chart. So, and that's the region that it needs to break to continue momentum and to get those upper high highs.
Okay, I think last up is Sushi. We'll have a look at Sushi.
So for whoever asked for this one I did break down last week. So you can head back to the last week's video and have a look at that. But what I'll do is I'm going to put this back up to the daily chart, move that logo out of the way. We can see that we've got 5 beautiful waves here. Now, this is obviously corrective waves. We need to hold 46 for this to remain as bullish as it has been. So I'm going to put that level down here. That is the point where it's going to keep going down. So where we're going to see, you know, those lower lows. So, and it's also at this point here. So we've had 1, 2, 3, fourth touch normally breaks through up or down lower. So it needs to hold that level. That level is 46 cents, 0.463. So holding that level is essential. When we put some fibs on this and we can have a look kind of where we are on this pattern, zoom in, we almost got down to the 9.5 here. So it does look like potentially that region is an area of interest. Now, at the moment, the stock has crossed up, so that's a positive sign. We're going to get some more momentum here, and we're quite low on the RSI, so that does also mean that we are heading up. So if we have a look at the MACD, while we haven't crossed up, we do have easing sell pressure here. So that's another good sign that this chart should get some momentum soon. Now, different to the other ones, we're quite high on the MAs here. So our MAs are at 1.075. So if you were to take even a spot position, which you can have a larger stop loss on, you're looking at about 60% to that region. I do think if Bitcoin can get that momentum happening and we don't break down here, then these are definitely going to be areas of interest for these alts. We're severely oversold on a lot of patterns, so a bounce would be really good. This area as well is also our pattern break on sushi. So our pattern break here is where that golden zone is, and essentially we want that region to break. So that's our 100 MA. So you can see I'm just going to put that here, and we want that region to break for this to become bullish. So if we're counting waves, we've potentially got one more to go. So unless this wave here, which is a doji, was our truncated wave, which can be potential, and we've got a V-shaped bottom on a lot of alts, and that might be our reversal in this region. So this one really needs to hold that mark, that 56.7, and then continue upwards. So if we drop back down, I'm going to drop back down to the hourly. We're hitting the 100 MA, sign of strength. We're also at the top here for the stock, nearing the top on the RSI. So that's a point where we're probably going to get a small pullback. Now we've got the EMAs sitting just underneath as support. So that's a 21 and a 9 EMA. So potentially we want to come back down, hold above a 64, and then we'll be able to continue higher. So that is also forms our wave 1. This is our wave 2. We're entering our wave 3. So when we're looking at that in wave projection, so we can potentially go this wave 3 can go as high as 70, and then again up to that 9 on the 0.09 on the Fibonacci. So, and that's our 200 on the hourly. So if that region 747, so going back up to our daily, and we will find that 747 is only our EMAs. So yeah, so that's going to be interesting to see what happens here, because on our daily, that's our pivot up here. So, you know, it could just take off. Sushi tends to be a big mover when it moves and when it crashes. So it's one that you must have stop losses on if you are trading.
Okay, very good. That was very deep in that dive. That little pump at the end might be attributed to Bitcoin. I think it's hopefully on its way up a little bit, 57.1 when I last looked at it. which is good. We like green.
We do like green. The world is nicer green. Twitter's X is nicer green, and YouTube's nicer green. So
excellent. Okay, cool. Let's wrap it up there. Thank you very much, and thank you for everyone for joining. As always, X on YouTube, and of course, getting started in crypto.com. Same again next week, I guess.
Yeah, we'll see you same bat channel next time.
Okay. Have a great week ahead, and we will see you all soon. Bye.